up, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Two Sisters, One Book. I'm Carla.
And I'm Amanda. We're two sisters, two moms tackling one book at a time. Hey.
Hey, we read 5 chapters.
Whoop, whoop.
What do you think of those 5 chapters?
I really like them. I don't remember what we talked about on the last episode, but Lyra did not save herself. So
I know.
it was her brother.
I was thinking that as I was reading it. I was like, oh, we said it was going to be Lyra, and we kind of threw Aldi off to the side. We were like, no, it'll be Lyra. And then, of course, it was Aldi who saved her, which I was happy about, but I was bummed that we were wrong.
Yeah, that was actually an interesting whole scene right there because if you think about it, he comes busting in and everything. And the only reason why they came busting in is because all the soldiers left.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Like
I
if you
thought that
think
was
about
interesting.
it, so the king just left them all to die, or was he just leaving there to see who's the strongest one who will last, you know?
Yeah, well, I think you and I even at the end of the episode last time we had talked about like we didn't really know what was going to happen. We didn't know if the people that were left over were potential candidates for this additional elemental power or if they were just, we didn't know what was going to happen with them. And we were like, well, I guess we're going to find out. And then we come to find out that the king basically just left them there. And I think the king's intentions were just like, look, they probably all these people probably passed the test, not in the sense of that they were what he was looking for, but that they quote unquote weren't what they were looking for. So he's like, well, we can't let them go because, then they're going to start telling people what's going on. So let's just leave them here. And they had few guards to guard the door, and they weren't going to feed them. They weren't going to do anything. And these people were just going to slowly not make it, unfortunately, which, yeah.
Yeah. That was crazy. 4 days. It's been 4 days since they last saw since they've been down there. And the only reason why A found them is because all their stuff was by the front door, the side door, and everything, which I thought was it. Like, why would you leave their stuff if you didn't want them to be found? Or maybe he did want them to be found. But as they were um, getting people out, they found a key, like a random key hidden and everything. So it was just very like everything kind of worked out. So I wonder if that was part of the king's plan to see how they would get out. But we did see people didn't make it. There was people dead. There was a lot of people really, really weak. So I'm hoping that we do get a little more information on like what was going on because how do you have some people who are very like not like healthy wise, but like stronger because we do see Lyra is a little bit weakened, but you have people who can't even get up, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. And it probably comes down to like how they were treated. We don't know exactly if some of them were like maybe beaten or
oh yeah,
um
that's true, huh?
who showed up to, I mean, I don't know who would show up to a test who's like, oh, I mean, maybe they didn't eat anything beforehand, I don't know, but yeah. And also probably fear. If you were really fearful and scared, that probably eats away at some of your uh I don't know, like stability of being able to survive maybe. But
Maybe. I mean, you did see people die. You saw this kid for just asking a question get his neck snapped, and then some people didn't even come back from the testing area with the king. So I could see that. Like you're so scared you can't even move, you know?
yeah, but we
Man, that
do know
must have been a
that.
scary scene.
Oh yeah, no, and then I don't know. Maybe you already knew this, and it must have just slipped through my reading tunnel, I guess. But did you know that Aldi he's not Fae? I don't know why I just assumed he was Fae. Maybe you already knew that. I don't know.
But didn't she say it was like that in the beginning when they
Maybe
were
I don't
testing,
remember.
doing like when she was watching everybody test?
Oh, maybe that part must have slipped when I was reading because I was like, wait a minute, why did I just assume he was Fae? But yeah, we know that he's
Because he
not
has
Fae.
powers. You probably
Probably.
just connected because he has powers that your brain was just
Yeah.
like, he's fake.
Yeah, I just made that assumption.
So
So he was probably able to touch the bars, I think, because even Lyra says, like, I can't touch the bars. And I was like, oh, maybe he can then because he is not Fae. I don't know.
yeah. No, that was a fun scene. And then we see that Mira gets to meet the person who saved Lyra. I felt like that was kind of a little emotional scene,
Yeah.
but I don't know why I still have my It's gonna sound so bad. I don't fully trust her.
You
Like,
have your reservations about Mira.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like, oh my goodness, I'm still kind of scared every time she like opens up her mouth. And the fact that A like paused and he kind of had his guard up and then he like slowly let it down and he gave her a hug and everything. I was just like, was that like a clue? Why did he pause? Like,
Yeah.
do you not trust her either? Because he was all like, what?
Well, and it could also be something that, I mean, even later down the story, we could see something where the king has her son and she has to make a decision whether she's going to, say if she knows where Lyra is or make the choice between her son and Lyra, which I think after everything that she's been through with like her husband and her other son, that she is going to probably want to protect her son, her
Yeah,
youngest son. Mhm.
yeah. Yeah, she's had it rough since this whole incident with Lyra's family.
Yeah.
So I could see that. But they made it out. They came with the son. I guess there was people waiting, like loved ones waiting for them and everything. So they've been looking for them. And I thought it was really sad how the loved ones of the dead came, gathered the bodies, and just kind of left. Like that kind of broke my heart, like reading that little bit. I was like, "Oh, that's so sad. Like you see everybody else coming, and it's like, why didn't my person make it out, you know?"
Heartbreaking. But yeah, we do also see now that Lyra wants to kind of get out of Lavinkit. She's like, let's get out of here. And she's actually kind of honest with Aldi and even with herself that she's like, I don't know if it's just out of fear of the soldiers coming back or if it's just like these nightmares that she's having, but she wants to leave Lavinkit and she wants to leave quickly. And so she wants to go to Thornspire, which when I was looking at the map in the book, it looks like it's more in the mountain area, which is like more on the north side. And it's supposed to take like 5 to 6 days on horse to get there. So that is their next destination. And Lyra feels like she's being pulled there, which I thought was an interesting choice of words to use because it's like, okay, so what is there, which we know, but we'll talk about that later. What is there that is pulling you in that direction? So they head off and they head over to Thornspire.
Yeah, but before that, like they're not even on the road that long before they start hearing soldiers. So not only that, they're hearing the soldiers' cadence coming close by. And A tells her, take the kids and go. And the way I read that
Yeah.
part was like he was very like protective mode, like you need to go now. So now they're separated. And now I'm like, I'm torn between two worlds. Yes. Lyra made it out with Caddy and Misk. But what's gonna happen to A and Nadia? Like,
I
are you
know.
kidding me right now? Like what? You separated the party. You don't separate the party.
I know. I'm really worried for them because when he told her, he was like serious, like, leave, get out of here. And we know that Lyra is technically the commander. So he is telling her, like, you need to go, get out of here. He also knows that she's probably got some type of like fear going on from being in the underground cages for like 5 days or whatever it was. And you have Katie and Misk who are just freshly getting used to their powers. So he's like, you guys need to go. And of course, him and Nadia stay behind. But yeah, I'm like, oh no, what's going to happen? Like, I'm going to. I don't even want to think about it because I actually really like Aldi. I don't know why. He is like one of my top characters right now. So I'm a little worried.
Yeah, he's a good character. And then, yeah, so our party gets separated and then they're going for what, a day or something because they're both out of breath. Everybody's tired. The horses are tired. And she made a remark saying that Misk is more out of breath than anybody else right now. Well, that dodo brain got himself hurt and didn't say anything. Like, are you kidding me right now?
It's a tree branch that got
Oh
him.
my gosh. So I just
Like
think
out of
as they're
all
like
things.
riding really fast and the branch is like, "Whoosh, got you."
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. And he's like holding it in. And even Lyra was like, okay, guys, let's stop and take a rest because they had like gone so quickly because they were not just trying to get to Thornspire, but they're trying to also escape and provide distance between the soldiers and themselves. Because you can think that Nadia and
Hey,
Aldi, yeah, can only, give you so much time to get away. So they're like, let's hurry. And so they're just like hauling ass. They're like, bye, and they're taking off. And so it's like, oh great. Okay. So Misk, of course, gets beaten up by a tree branch, and he doesn't say anything until they basically make it to what, they're close to their next destination. Not their destination, but close to it.
Yeah, they, like, get to the resting point and everything, and, oh, man, thank God for Caddy and all her stuff that she has. She was able to help him, but she even said he needs, like, a healer. This isn't gonna do, so when we get to the city we need to get to, we need to go straight to a healer, so
Yeah.
and we
Yeah.
did find out because Caddy was mad. She was all like, "Why didn't you say anything?" And then Lyra became super mad, which then Caddy was all like, you could tell she wanted to be like, "Oh, you need to calm down and everything," but she's like, "Even when I've been hurt, I've told you guys when I was hurt. I've never done this to you guys." So we can see the whole protective mode of Lyra coming out right now for Misk and Caddy, if you think about it.
Yeah, and I think a lot of her frustrations too, like she's frustrated with Misk for not saying anything, especially because she's like feeling like she's responsible for these two. Not only are they much younger than her, but she is like their commander. And if something happens to them, probably on her watch, she would feel obviously a sense of responsibility. But I also think a lot of her emotions are stemming from what she had just gone through, being in these cages and having all of this emotions running through her. And so I think, because even when she walks to go, she tells them, I'm going to go and I'm going to be by myself. And she sits down and she hears that voice again, right? The voice is like, you're okay. Like, you're not with the king anymore. You're not in the cages. Everything's going to be okay, trying to reassure her. And I think a lot of that is feeding into this emotion that she's kind of feeling towards Misk. So I think it's like a combination of everything put together.
Yeah, not only that, now she's separated from her team, and then she has like pictures of her brother and Nadia being put in prison too, which I would have a lot of emotions too.
Yeah.
It's a lot happening for her right now. It's a lot. But at least they make it to the city fine and, we get to run into a hunk of hunk on the road.
Yeah. So they make it to Thornspire. And the first thing they do, obviously, is get to the area where they're going to need a healer. We had all this excitement going on. And then I feel like we had all of this like information and excitement put together in such like short, like 2 chapters worth, right? And we learned a lot. Which I will say later how I was kind of looking at it and I was like, dang, how did I not figure that out? But yeah, they get to the healer, and of course Misk is there. And of course Misk is like, okay, like heal me and do all that. And then we know that Lyra was feeling really warm in the room, and obviously we know why she was feeling warm. But your initial thoughts when you were reading it, what were you thinking about? Like, why is she feeling so warm, and just in this one specific area?
I honestly thought her fire powers were coming out because she has so many emotions.
Me too.
Like she's gonna blow something up. You guys get her friend healed.
Were like manifesting. I was like, oh, this is that dragon fire power that her father had. I was like, she's getting
Yeah.
really hot, and then when she walked outside, she talks about like how the she got hit in the face with like a bunch of wind and rain, and I'm like, oh, there's the
It's
air.
her powers too. They're like, here, let me cool you down. It's like wrong.
Like, oh, here, we'll help you out, we got you. Like, yeah,
You got so many powers, emotions inside of you right now. Calm down.
I know, and I was like, wow, okay, we're gonna start to see her powers manifesting. Like, I wasn't really expecting um you know other
You can
anything else.
say it. You can say it. We're already there.
um yeah, I mean, it was clearly had to do with her mating bond to this very sexy, sounds like sexy man, who is actually the main head healer there at the healers area, and who's helping heal Misk.
Yeah. Okay. So that's an interesting thing too, because he even said shifters are bonded, I think, with other shifters. That's how, like, when they're in their shifting form, they could talk to each other.
Hmm.
So she probably has all the powers if you think about it. So is Mira a shifter, and what can she shift into? And is it the dragon? Like, What is this? What is on the front of the page? Is it a dragon or just somebody with wings, like a bat woman?
You know what? It's like bat wings, or is it dragon wings? I can't tell.
Well, now I understand why this voice probably can't talk to her the whole time because you have to be in your shifted form, right, to be able to talk. So I was wondering why wasn't he down there in the dungeons with her talking it through? But um
Well, that's the thing
yeah,
though, is do you have to be in your shifted form? Because Lyra isn't shifted at all, and he's not shifted at all. Because when they were in the room together, when she yelled at him, like, talk to me out loud, neither of them were in a shifted form. And
oh yeah,
we
that's
know
true. Huh.
we know
That's
that she doesn't have any technically as of yet known shifted powers. So he just kind of, I think, makes the comment like, it's crazy how you and I have been able to talk to each other because normally you can only shifters are the only ones who can talk. He explains that they can't the way that they can communicate, yeah, is when they're in their shifted forms. And that's why he thought it was so strange because they it sounds like he doesn't have any powers. He's wearing the gray uniform with the black pants just like Lyra, so neither of them have any shifting or power abilities. So it's like, how are they able to talk into each other's minds, you know?
yeah. So my brain went off for a little bit. And it could be totally wrong, but this is just kind of how I wish it would go down. Is what if he's part of a rebel thing against the king? So he's like holding his powers aside because he's so powerful. He knows how to do this. Do you know what I'm trying to say? It makes sense in my
Mm-hmm.
head where he's so powerful, he could control his powers where he doesn't have to show off his powers type thing. So for the king, he has no powers, but in like reality, he is very powerful, you know? And what if he's like part of a rebellion type thing?
And that's why he can talk to her in her mind.
Yeah. Well, because they're shifters too, but what if he does have a power, but because he doesn't want the king to know that he has a power, he's dressed as somebody who doesn't have a power. Do you know what I'm trying to say? It makes
Yes,
sense in
I
my head.
and no, and I like I think what you're saying is that like he's able to kind of hide his powers. Like that is his power, maybe, is that he can hide his powers. And so he is wearing this plain uniform because they think he doesn't have powers when in
Yeah,
reality he probably does.
he has powers. Yeah.
The question to that is why is Lyra able to speak into his mind and hear him unless she's the same?
Because what if she is the same? What if she is so, but she doesn't really know how to? I think she might be a shifter, or she might have like because her mom was very powerful and her dad was very
Yeah.
powerful. So maybe she's like this special element, like how we were talking. I think in the first episode of how we think that she might just have like she's the avatar that she might have all of them, you know. And
Mm.
I was thinking, what if there's people out there because not everybody agrees with this king right now. What if there's people out there who are powerful enough to be like, okay, I could take this test, but like say it's just like, okay, so the key is to pass out or like do something like they catch on to the clues so then it looks like you don't have powers, you know?
Right. Well, I mean, if you think about it, Lyra took the test and supposedly she didn't pass, right? Like, or she passed in the sense of she doesn't have the power that he's looking for. And even when she was talking with Aldi earlier, he was like, you've taken two tests and you have no powers. But in her mind, she's like, something's not adding up. So
But she
that
held
could
back
be.
too on some stuff. Like even when she was in the
Yeah.
dungeon with the king, she held back her power. Like her strength power type thing, you know? Like maybe just self-consciously her brain held back like, okay, you can't show that you have all these, but she did feel a breeze like out of nowhere. She felt a breeze come in. I don't know.
Well, no, and I think you are probably onto something too, because we do know that her family is very strong. Like that's why the king wanted to target them, is because he doesn't want any other families that are stronger than him to be around, or at least be above him. He wants them below him to work for him. And if you're not going to work for him, then he doesn't want you around. So that could very well be that maybe her family was able to sort of hide their powers, and that's why they were able to get around without being noticed for so long, that they were so strong. And we could think, so we know that our sexy new man, his name is Evander. I like his name. And I was like, ooh. And what if he is also part of another family like Lyra that was taken out and he was able to hide himself too?
Oh. Well, because we do know the city that they're in, they have all like the shifters, and it's a total different scene than what we're used to right now. We're not on the battlefield anymore, and we're not in the borderlands. So I feel like these people, they've had their powers for so long. They've had trainers, they can control it more.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah. And we
and
see
he's
all
been
kinds of shifters.
we have cat shifters. I forgot the Japanese word for it, but it's like the nine tail shifters. I'm like, I want that one. I want to be a fox. Tails. I want to be in this world so bad right now. But yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of power people, water people, there's fire people. And Lyra said, if we have enough time, she kind of wants to get Caddy and Misk help to help train with their powers too. So we are in a world right now that has, and they seem powerful if you think about it.
Yeah, this city was really cool. I mean, it seemed like a really well put together city. Lyra says this obviously this city wasn't affected by the war. So
Hmm.
it seems like there's a lot of people who are just roaming around and they're just being who they are. They're not hiding themselves. So I thought that was actually pretty cool. And I was like, man, if you guys are going to stop anywhere, stop here. Make this your home.
And it's really cool to see too, because it like rains and then the fire people could instantly dry themselves off. I was like, what?
Yeah.
I want that. And is it the water people making it rain? Like, do they make it rain because they got so many emotions? Or are they just like always at war with the fire people? Like, you like it dry? I want it wet, Like
Yeah.
going back and forth. But I
Yeah.
thought it was funny how Evander,
Oh, Evander.
yeah, Evander was like he was talking to Caddy the whole time saying, do you have a place to stay? If not, go to this inn, tell them that you have a patient with me and all this stuff. And it seems like a really cool inn because they were asking for a bathhouse. So this guy totally hooked them up with a free room. And the guy was like, the in person was just like, when they were asking for a bathhouse, he goes, there's one in your room, you weirdos. Like, they're like,
So
what?
hard. I laughed so hard. I was like, that's funny. They literally came down and they're like, hey, excuse me, like where are the hot springs? Like I need to
Yeah,
bathe.
where's the bath?
And yeah, and he's like, what do you mean? And they're like, well, we're looking for the bath. And he's like, it's in your room. And then they go in and they're like astonished, like, wow. And they're like turning on the thing. They're like, water's coming to, and then they're like, we smell like strawberries because of the soap.
Yeah. How cool would that be? Like, okay, so that's like totally two different worlds, but in the same area because everything is like so close because we've only been traveling for probably, okay, so it took them what, 4 days to get to the testing site. They slept for a couple of days. So if you take the sleeping out, you take the testing out, you take the hostage situation out from the war zone that they were at to the city that they're at, it's like what,
6 days.
6 days? So
Yeah,
they're
they
not
said
even
six
a
days.
week apart. And then it's just completely two different things. War zone, catastrophe, and then you have showers
Mm-hmm.
in an
And
inn, and
yeah,
it's
a
two
city
different
that's
worlds.
put together, like a whole city that has everything. Like they were probably like, where are we and how do we just stay
Yeah.
here?
It's so crazy to me. So
Yeah.
clearly the king took care of that part, but these to him are probably people worthy of taking care of because they're not as powerful is
Yeah.
what he's trying to do. But when it like in my mind, I would be like, okay, if I didn't have powers, maybe not because power people are cool, but if I was the king, not saying I am the king, don't get this twisted. If I was the king, I would take out that city first. That would be the first city to go. No one has powers. If I have no powers, you have no powers. Y'all got to go.
Maybe. Unless that's what like the king's vacation spot. He's like, oh,
Right.
I'm gonna go to Thornspire and I'm gonna,
They could snap their fingers and I'm dry.
right? Um, but yeah, so they're hanging out there, and I guess because we kind of jumped ahead a little bit, but going back, like we know that Misk is being healed and they're taking care of him, and we know that uh Lyra is like, I'm so hot. She was like, I'm really hot in here. Like, are you guys hot? And they seem like they're totally fine. So she's like, I'm gonna go outside. So she walks out, and I tell me why I laughed so hard when she runs into who we know now to be Evander, because she's walking out. She's like, I had my eyes closed. She was probably just trying to breathe and think and just relax. And she bumps right into this guy who she's like, he's taller than Aldi. She said he was like 6'8" or 6'9", I think, which I was like, dang, he is tall. And she has to like look up at him, and he was just like, watch where you're going. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry, Lord, whatever. She's like, she's like, I'm sorry that you must have gotten in my way as I was walking in a straight line. And I just
Yeah.
laughed. I don't know why that line was so funny to me, but I was like, because it's true. It's like she's probably just minding her own business, walking straight. And it's like he walks into her, and it's like, you guys probably both were at fault. Why are you blaming me? Like, I just thought that
I
was so
know.
funny.
So I picture that too, in the movies where somebody is either like trying to catch their breath, walking or looking up at the sun, trying to like they have anxiety or something. And then you have like this doctor or nurse rushing through with their coffee and everything, and they just collide into each other. And of course,
He spills.
yeah, so the more important person is all like, what the heck? Watch where you're going. And in reality, it was like, you were just looking down, like on your phone, like watch where you're going. That's how that whole scene played out for me, is because he's the more
Yeah.
important person right now because he's the healer. But
Yeah. No, that was
they,
funny. Yeah.
yeah, she's fast on her feet of thinking though. I was like, oh yeah, that
Yeah.
was a good.
Yeah. So obviously, like their initial interaction was not the greatest because they seem to both be agitated at each other. And so he like walks by. She doesn't know who he is. She's just like, dude, some jerk. I ran into him and he was just total dick. And so she walks by and goes back outside. And that's when she
But
cooled
she
off a
wants
little
to
bit.
stay out longer. Yeah, she's like, she saw him going into the hospital area, and she's like, well, there's my reason to stay out here longer.
Yeah.
So
So
where
she
does she go
leaves.
again? Yeah, where does she go?
The apothecary to get like, I think she was
Yes,
looking for like
for stuff for
medicinal
Caddy.
items. Yeah. Cause she knew like on their way from where they were to now being in Thornspire, and Miss got hurt, she didn't have any of the things that she needs to really heal him. So I think in Lyra's mind, she was like, well, this is good. I can get out, get away from the hospital. I'm not in the heat. I'm not next to this aggravating guy, and I can just stock up on stuff and it'll take up some time. And so she's able to pick up some items that Katie would need to maybe have on the road with them. So that's where she was before she went back to I guess the hospital.
Yeah, but she was very thoughtful. And when she brought it back, Caddy was very excited and everything. And yeah, she sees
Yeah.
that the guy is the main guy. She's probably like, crap.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause she walks in and Katie's like, oh yeah, Misk is doing great. Thanks to the lead healer. He came in shortly after you left, and let me
He's
introduce
been
you.
doing
And
great.
yeah, so she calls Evander over, and Evander's like, and she's like, this is Lyra. And he's like, and they both know. And he's like, I ran into her outside. And you can clearly see this tension between the two of them. And I could just see Katie standing there, like looking back and forth, like, okay, well, yeah, you guys met now. Like,
Yeah.
you know, but
Yeah.
yeah, she is introduced to Evander, and then Evander obviously is introduced to her. So now they know each other's names. Um, and he begins to continuously heal uh Misk. And so they end up going back to the hotel, don't they? And they sleep for the night and they oversleep, which I thought was funny. They're like, oh, it's past
That
sunset or
happened.
sunrise. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because
Yeah.
Katie got mad because she's all like, why didn't you wake me up? And she's like, I did wake you up. I just woke you up when I woke up. I just got dressed.
Yeah.
She was
So
just like, oh no, she was hard to wake up because the only way Lyra could get her out of bed, she's like, do you want to go see Misk? And she like shot out of bed and then realized what just happened. So she's like, why
yeah.
did you do that to me?
She
That
puts
was
the
cute.
blame on her. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they head back to the hospital. And of course, we see that Evander is still there and he's helping heal Misk still. And Misk is doing much better. It sounds like a good night in the hospital helped him out. And Evander tells them, or he announces to the three of them, like, oh, Lyra, I heard you are the commander in this group. I'd like to speak to you in private in my office. And so they wander off into the office, and right as they get in, he immediately speaks into her mind. So we know this mysterious mind person dude is Evander, and this is the guy who has been speaking to her this entire time in the book so far who's been having this conversation with her. And did you see that coming? Because right when I saw him, I was like, this has to be him. I don't know why I thought that was
Yeah.
him.
Oh, well, yeah, I saw the second we saw him speak in her mind, I knew it was him, but I didn't think it was going to happen that fast or if that was going to be the spot. But it makes sense now why she was being pulled to that city because she's like, it's just in my gut. I've never been wrong in my gut. I have to go. I can't tell you why I have to go. I just have to go here. But I loved how fast it was. I loved how we didn't get to just wait and everything. So now I feel like it's going to get like everything's going to just start unrolling and everything.
Yeah.
But it was
Yeah.
funny how she goes, why? Like, so I pictured it as they were talking, and then all of a sudden she's like shaking her shirt, like, why is it so hot in here?
Yeah, she's like throwing off her clothes, like it's so hot. And he even says he was like, he's like, you're not gonna cool down until we have this conversation. And she's like,
It's like the skin
it
to
was
skin
you.
contact. Yeah, you need skin to
Yeah.
skin, and it won't make it perfectly go away. It just eases it. So I was just like,
Right.
dang, you must be in heat or something.
That's
Something.
what I was thinking. I was like, maybe she's in heat. But like we do find out that Evander tells her, like, this is what happens with mates, and mates are able to speak into each other's minds. And I don't know why. We've read so many stories. We've read things about mates and speaking into it, like people being able to communicate, like even in Akatar, like talking with their mate, right? How did we not put this together? That this is probably why
Because they've
someone is
always
speaking
met.
to him.
They've always met. And it's just,
Maybe.
I really liked it though, because
Yeah.
it wasn't predictable. We didn't know exactly what was going to happen. Like this was actually something I think we both needed at this moment
Yeah.
of just something exciting, something new, and just something completely different, which is the same as
Yeah.
new. That's just a different word. I just wanted more to say.
No, it's true though. It feels like a lot of the books that we read are very like they can be kind of repetitive as far as like certain aspects of the story maybe. And this I did not see coming. I didn't even think about them being mates or anything because, like you said, normally they've already met. And that's when the connection starts to piece together. But they hadn't met yet. This was somebody who was speaking into her mind that she had never met. They didn't even know each other's names. And
For
all of a sudden,
years.
yeah, and all of a
For
sudden it's
years.
like they're drawn together, right? Like she is drawn to the city. She doesn't understand why, but she knows she needs to go there. She's extremely hot when he's near her in the room.
Hmm.
And we just know that, like, okay, there's obviously this would make sense. And of course it makes sense that they're mates. Like, go figure. Like, how did we not see this? And he even says he didn't, because she's like, you didn't tell me that you were the voice, like in my mind, right when I met you. He's like, I didn't know until the
They said your
second,
name.
yeah, they said your name. And she's like, but you didn't even know my name. So this just goes to show, obviously, this baited bond connection can really introduce you and open things up to you without you even knowing it.
No, I loved it. I really
It's
enjoyed that part.
fantastic.
It
Oh,
was
it was so
great.
great. Now, of
I can't
course,
wait to
there's
see
so
what
much
happens
tension.
next. I
I
know she
know.
storms out. She okay. So the way I read the next part is she walked out and she goes, "Miss, are you good to go? Because we need to go now." And he's just like, yes, I'm good. I'm good for you. I will get up and go." So who was helping him?
Yeah.
Caddy was helping him put on his boots so he didn't have to bend over. I was like, "Girlfriend, where are you gonna go?"
I'm sorry, but she tells Evander, I'll be fine, because he's like, we have to have the skin to skin contact. That's what's gonna help, like, diminish this heated feeling. And she's like, I'll be fine. The second I'm not near you, I'll be fine. Because when I
Yeah.
left earlier, I was fine. Tell me why I know she's not going to be fine. I know she's going to leave. She's going to be out doing something and she's going to be like, the heat won't stop. I don't know what to do. And then she's going to have to
Wasn't
come back to him.
wasn't she only doing fine for a little bit when they bumped into each other and kind of touched for a second?
Yeah. And then she
Like
left.
maybe
And it
that
seems
eased her
like,
for a second. And then right when she got
yeah.
back, it was just like, oh, man, why is this
Well,
so
and
hot?
it also could have been because of the rain. Like she's already warm. She goes outside. The rain is hitting her, the wind. It could be that that might have been what's cooling her down. And she didn't realize that, because I almost think that the second they met or that they were in close proximity is when the bond sort of clicks. And like they always probably had each other, right? Like they knew, like, you know, they were destined to be mates. But then the second that they were like in close proximity, or yeah, I guess that's what I would call it, close proximity, all of a sudden it's like activated. So it's like I feel like now moving forward, she's going to remain hot unless she has some type of like physical touch to him.
Yeah, which is gonna be exciting to see. And I'm wondering if she's the one causing the rain and the wind right now, you know?
Could be. I mean, well, you never know. I mean, it could be a mix of her and Katie and their sexual emotions that they have towards these men. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't
The
wait
rain
to
and the
keep
wind.
reading. Yeah, it's gonna be
I
exciting.
know. This has been really good. I really like this book. I mean, it's just like been the transition, the everything together has just been like really well pieced together. But we do know, I guess it sort of ends these chapters with Lyra saying, "Bye. I hope I never see you again, Evander." And they leave, and I'm like, "I think that's gonna happen, girl. I think you're gonna see him again real soon."
I can't wait for that. Like, who's gonna do what? Is he gonna bump into her or is she gonna come crawling back? Like, what the heck is happening? I need you to answer some more questions type things, you know?
Yeah. Well, and that's why, like, kind of what we touched on earlier is they're supposed to both be like powerless. Neither of them are supposed to have any powers, but why are they able to have this? I mean, I don't know if the question was
Well,
answered in anything
shifters
that we
and
read.
powers are different, remember?
Yeah, but they're technically just supposed to be like Fae and maybe human because we don't know if he's Fae yet or not, but we just know she's just Fae. She's supposed to, which I don't think, I think she will have some type of a power that just hasn't been unlocked or seen yet. She's supposed to just be like powerless and to not be a shifter, right? So it's like that's why she has her gray top and her black pants, and he's the same way. So can mates be something that happens with humans and fays? I don't know. We haven't gotten to that part. So I don't know. But I mean,
Well,
obviously, if they are,
maybe we'll find out in the next 5 chapters.
maybe, maybe. Before we end the episode, I had a question for you. Are you ready?
No. Yes.
Okay, so so because of the fact that in Thornspire we have all these different like shifters and people, if you had to pick one thing, whatever it would be, one thing to
Be a
shift into,
shifter. It'd be the
what?
fox.
Okay, and
The nine
why?
tails. The nine tails. I don't know. That would just be a really cool thing to do. Like,
Okay.
I wouldn't really care for a cat. I wouldn't. That's like basically all we saw right there. But I would definitely choose nine tails. 1,000 hands down.
Okay.
That would be me.
All right.
What's
I think I
yours?
would choose well, I don't we haven't seen it yet, but I think I'd be a dragon.
What? Okay. Cool, cool. Don't eat me. Don't eat me.
Idea of like I feel like a dragon has some strength. I don't know. I think it's badass like to be like, "Oh yeah, what's your shifter?" "Oh, I'm a dragon." Like, "Oh, that's cool." You know? That's what I think. I
Okay.
don't know.
I love a dragon at the end of the nine tails. Sweet.
Yeah. We'll be hanging out together at all the cool places.
With my nine tails, like, don't eat me.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so I guess we'll read the next 5 chapters. So for everybody listening, make sure that you read the 5 chapters that are coming up. So that would be what, 15 through 20 or 15, 16, 17,
Through
18, 19.
19.
Yeah, 15 through 19.
Stop at
So
20.
yeah, stop at 20. Don't read 20 unless you really want to read ahead of us and you just want to, find out what happens. I don't blame you. It's very hard to stop at these chapters and not keep going, but that's okay. But yeah, other than that, is there anything else you wanted to add before we end the episode?
No, but we love you guys.
We do. So, yes, if you guys are listening to us on Spotify or Apple, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure that you guys are actually just leave us a review. We'd love to see some more reviews on there. If you guys can, that would be awesome. We know you're out there listening. So if you are, once you are done listening to this episode, go on there, leave us a review. Let us know what you think. We have been having a lot of fun. Let us know what you guys think of the book we're reading. We like this book so much. If you guys have any additional book suggestions for the future for us, let us know. If you're listening to us on YouTube, all that still applies to you as well. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you leave us a comment. Make sure to hit the bell so that you know when the next episode is out. And make sure to follow us on social media. We are on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. Make sure to give Elle Clausen a follow. She is also on Instagram and TikTok. Make sure to go check her out. She is the author of this book, and she has done a fantastic job. We're really enjoying reading it. But other than that, I guess we'll see you guys on the next episode.